Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to all the sincere Akim pushing the word of Yahweh Shem Shai in true sincerity. We the Hebrew Israelites from the Great Millstone Watchman Philadelphia camp. And you know, we're out here on a Thursday this time, basically to preach the word of Yahweh Shem Shai. And you know, basically, I guess we continue. I guess for this whole. Alright, because you know, the spirit that's really on us right now is, you know, destruction. Because when you look at everything that's basically going on in the news and things, you know, that's one of the things that you know, we're supposed to go out here and teach. You know, is the fact that America is coming to its demise. You know, every great kingdom had its rise and its fall. Shalom. It had its you know, its rise and its fall. You know, and we're coming into the time where America's in its decline. You know, like, you know, you had one of the things I was just thinking about is the fact that America's on a you know, I haven't looked at this recently, the debt clock or whatever, but that's another aspect of America's economy. And also you have, you know, militarily, because you have Donald Trump, you know, basically banging the war drum and instigating, you know, fainting on other countries. And, you know, the thing with North Korea is as soon as you know, North Korea is really attacked or whatever, then America's gonna get, you know, other nations are gonna jump in it basically. And that's what you know, that's what people don't really realize, the seriousness of this situation that we're in right now.
I was listening to another brother. He said that Donald Trump running the White House like Death Row Records. But
Coming at everybody all
this is the book of Jeremiah 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets have been before me and before thee of old, prophesies both against countries, Salakia, both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah, America is a great kingdom. America's you know, the most glorious kingdom on the planet right now. You know, as far as you know, even, I mean, it's past glory, of course, because it's declining. But you know, you had the you know, the Syria, you know, like we always say, the Syrians, the Babylonians, you know, you had the Egyptians, you had the Greeks, the Romans, the Medo-Persian Empire, and you know, America was basically set up, you know, greater than all these kingdoms, you know, because it came after. When you read Daniel, you see that that idol, and you know, it had the great kingdoms. Actually, America's like the weakest Roman Empire.
But it's still a great kingdom.
Yeah, it's still a great kingdom. So it said many. Yeah. So it said great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we're talking about war. We're talking about the evil, because right now, in you know, the spirit of you know, civil disobedience and all that is getting stirred up all over the country. Like you know, you had in what do you call it, Virginia? Charlottesville, Virginia, right? You had the protests up there with the white supremacists and those black nationalist groups or whatever was protesting. In Philadelphia, I believe it was. This week, you know, you had protests about you know, the same thing. Like, I guess they were trying to support and you know, the same type of protest that was going on in other parts of the country. I mean, you got people talking about taking down the statue of Frank Rizzo, which was like one of the you know, idols, I guess you could say, of like of Esau in Philadelphia, because
he was like the mayor.
Yeah, he was the mayor.
As a matter of fact, he was I believe he was a police chief. Yeah, he claims a police chief down in South Philadelphia, and he was real reckless with his, man. You know, like if in his era, if you see Jake standing on the corner, they get locked up.
Yeah, he created you know, basically laws and stuff. I mean, I forget off the top of my head, because I remember my dad my dad and some of his friends, one time we were working, and he was talking about, you know, all that stuff, all the legislation and all that stuff that he basically set up. And I was, you know, biased towards, you know, the so-called African Americans and all that. And, you know, even you know, there was this group called in Philadelphia called even, matter of fact, you even had a chapter of the Black Panther Party. They had like the FBI come, basically, you know, destroy them and all that. You had Frank Rizzo created laws, legislation to where I think it was in more than three, you know, so-called black men, or not black men necessarily. That's what they put. That's what they gonna target. It was supposed laws probably in general, but of course, you know, they gonna target us. So more than 3 men gathered at one time with a you know, rats and the rest and all that. You know, you had which is that took place during the I think it was the late 1970s and into the 80s. They were basically against. Yeah, they were basically, you know, they was into, you know, trying to live outside of the norm of what Esau would consider, you know, correct and all that, like eating natural foods, you know, I don't know, it was almost like, well, I don't want to say like Rastafarians or something like that, where they did kind of, I think, worship, you know, the one guy, John Africa, I think that was his name, the leader. And but the thing was, you know, if that's what they want to do, that's how they want to live, let them live it. I mean, this is like 1970s, 1980s. I mean, this is like a story. I did like a video on it a couple years ago. But they actually dropped, you know, the Move 9 compound, which was in like West Philly. They lived in West Philly. And they basically, you know, the police, they couldn't, you know, they created, you know, of course, one of the ways Esau will harass you is they'll like find you with, his unrighteous decrees or whatever. He'll try and find you, get you out of the community or whatever. And if he can't do that, he'll just straight up overtly try and destroy you. Like you had them come over and bulldoze the Move compound, and then Move members, they moved to another area. Then, you know, Rizzo and the police and the firemen and all that stuff, they tried to get them out there. And they actually dropped C4 from the, I believe it was the FBI. They dropped C4 on top of the roof and blew up the whole, I mean, they, like, and then the thing was, it was other people that lived on that block, so they destroyed the block. They blew up the building, and it was the fire was starting to consume the whole block. And they told the firemen, like, don't come there, you know, don't come, because they were just letting it, like, it's a documentary. You know, if brothers want to research it more, it's called Let the Fire Burn. I think it came out like last year, the year before that. It was basically America. It might have been. Or he was like the one right after.
This just a little quick information on Frank Rizzo was. Alright, it says Frank Rizzo, Frank Rizzo Sr. born October 23rd, 1920, died July 16th, 1991, was an American police officer and politician. He served as Philadelphia's police commissioner from 1968 to 1971 and mayor of Philadelphia from 1972 to 1980.
Yeah, so this guy, and I mean it was I mean, you know, if you look up Move bombing and all that stuff, I'm sure it's like videos you can find on YouTube that would basically, you know, it would illustrate everything we're saying better. There was a video, a documentary that I watched where it was showing about how, I think it was after the Move bombing or whatever, no, I'm sorry, when they bulldozed the building and all that stuff, they actually rode through the city of Philadelphia on horses, when the police had horses and all that. And they was just beating up, you know, Jakes, going into his houses, all this crazy shit that you know, if you was, you know, young Jake right now, really wouldn't know this stuff really actually happened. I mean, it happened.
Matter of fact, just to back the brother up, this was you said the Move bombing at at 30 is barbaric. Happened in 1985. Philadelphia police attack killed 11 and burned the neighborhood.
Yeah, so I mean, they just killed him and stuff, you know, for like, it wasn't even no, you know what I mean, they weren't really, I mean, I wouldn't say it was really a threat like that, you know, they did it like how they did that George. Yeah, like you know, they tried to, I guess, make him like how you had that guy in Waco, Texas.
Alright, this is about the MOVE, alright? It says MOVE is a Philadelphia-based black liberation group founded by John Africa, born Vincent Leapart in 1972. The group lives communally. Its members frequently engage in public demonstrations against racism, police brutality, and other issues. The group is particularly known for two major conflicts with the Philadelphia Police Department. In 1978, a standoff resulted in the death of one police officer, injuries to several other people, and life sentences for 9 members. In 1985, another standoff ended when a police helicopter dropped a bomb on the compound of row house in the middle of Osage Ave, causing a fire. This killed 11 more members, including 5 children. The fire burst out of control and destroyed 65 houses in the neighborhood, prompting widespread news coverage.
Yeah, so I mean, that's like the same, you know, like when we talk about the so-called Native Americans and everything that the so-called white people did to them. This is 1985, yeah, 1985, you know, they're doing the same type thing, you know, because like the scriptures say, never trust thy enemy, because never trust thy enemy, for his iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. So, you know, and it's all, use the analogy of wiping a looking glass clean, I believe. Or, you know, basically the point of that scripture is that, you know, you can shine something up, polish something up, but at the end of the day, it's going to come back. So the so-called white man's wickedness is going to come back, no matter how much he tries to clean himself up, clean up his image and all this stuff. You know, no matter how much he's on his PR campaign to try and look a certain way, you know, his wickedness is going to still come out. Just like today, you know, he's still shooting, you know, unarmed jakes, and, you know, treating us like, you know, we ain't shit, really showing how much he thinks about us and all that. So, you know, that's a little bit of, I guess you could say, history on Frank Rizzo. You know, that's something, because, what is it, so like, you know, that was one issue after, you know, I think it was Virginia or whatever, where it had Robert E. Lee, which is one of the Confederate generals or whatever. You had them trying to take down the statue of him, but they had them trying to take down all these statues. But like, I mean, that's the thing, like, so why, because you take down the statues, it's not going to change history or change the way that, you know, American policy is done in America, how Israelites, is not going to change it.
That's because our people want to forget about all that. Nah, this is the back to Bob up, but he said, this is the book of Sirach, chapter, you said 9 or 10? Oh, Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Yeah, it's just like I was saying, you know, like, never trust our enemy, the so-called white man. It's clear today that he's our enemy, so why are you going to trust somebody that has a, you know, a track record, like, a track record, a rap sheet, basically, you know, destroying us and doing everything in their power to come against us as a people? Why are you going to trust somebody like that?
No, but, you know, I got a cousin. she's a nigga woman. Like I was telling the brother on the way to camp today, that she was talking about she helped the. First of all, she made a statement talking about it's no place for racism in America, and I'm like, are you serious, man? Like where did you grow up in? You know, there's no place for racism in America, but yet the so-called white man hated us all together, man. He ain't bring us over here equal to him. He ain't bring us over here on no boats like he came over here on. This in the same fashion. He brought us on cargo slave ships, chained to one another. All right, you came to this country. When you first got to this country, you know, what you came over here for? You came over here for hardcore slavery, man. That's what you came for. You came over here for hardcore slavery. You asking us, why don't you ask us about the Bible, man? You're going to come up here and ask any questions. You see we out here teaching the Bible. What?
If you knew what I knew, you wouldn't be doing that right there.
You don't know shit. Because you're a fucking woman.
That's your problem.
You're a fucking woman. You don't know shit. You don't know shit, man. Talking about we knew about the Bible. She know more about the Bible than we do, man. Let's just see it. But anyway, man. See,
Yo, you wouldn't fucking give her money.
yeah, it can. She mad because we don't want to get her $5. Fucking bum.
Yeah, I mean, she could have waited till we finished saying what we were going to say.
Yeah, it can. That's what I mean. They see us out here talking, you know? And it never fails every time we come out. But yeah, man, our people really think that the so-called white man is their buddy, man, when he's not, man.
Yeah, so as iron rusts, so is wickedness. And like, you know, that's a perfect analogy because, you know, just like if you had like silver or whatever, you'll polish it up, but after a while it's gonna start, or any kind of, you know, a lot of different metals, you know, after a while they're gonna start, you know, going back to their old form that they were. You know, so that's he saw.
Oh, go ahead, that just made me think about something.
Yeah, he saw his, you know, he's wicked. You know.
Like the brother just said, man, it's gonna go back to what it is, right? So you had a so-called white man, right? Before, you know, they let us know that they hate us, they couldn't stand us when he brought us over. Then what it said? It said he humbled himself, right? He humbled, matter of fact.
Yeah, go crouching.
Yeah, it says though he humbled himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, man. So what the so-called white man do? He well, you can say he humbled himself, but he really didn't. He went crouching. Why? Because he had us in slavery, you know. And once we came out of slavery, we were so jacked up, you know. We thought that he was our friend, you know. They gave us certain rights and everything, and we think that we could walk hand in hand, buddy with him, you know. To the point, our people right now, they still believe like the so-called white man is their buddy. That's why they can't believe that this so-called racism, you know, is going on right now down in Charlottesville, North Carolina, man. All right, because why they forgot who their enemies was, man. So now all of a sudden, now you have these race wars or whatever, which is coming more and more to that. All right, which is coming more and more to that. Then you're going to understand, you know, you're going to understand who the enemies are.
First Testament?
Oh, the Old Testament. Alright. This is our book.
You have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I mean, well, first of all, we're the Hebrew Israelites, and they're teaching our people their nationality. We got
do y'all follow Dr. Zia?
I know you
So
talking.
y'all, that's what I'm saying, because certain people that I listen to, they follow different people. That's what I'm trying to find out which y'all was listening.
I mean, we're strictly like the Bible. I used to, there was this place on Broad and Hoyt Road, like around that area, that I used to, when I was, before I learned about the Hebrew Israelites and the Bible and that stuff. But, you know, like the Bible, I mean,
It's
basically,
the same thing though. They give you like so
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like,
much stuff on us. That's what I'm trying to do.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is,
My brain is. You don't know how many different religions some of my stuff I done studied, put together.
Matter of fact, man, I have real friends. You said that.
it says, it's Ecclesiastes 12:12, and further, by these, my son, be admonished and make many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right. So like you said, you studied this religion, that religion, that religion. That wears you up, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
all of them, like, that's why I was like, actually, because all of them brings it back to the same.
Exactly, to the Bible, right? Exactly. That's why we just read that scripture.
Yeah, that's why I really.
One
That's
more
what
time.
So you're not Muslim.
Because listen, the Muslims believe in Jesus, right?
Yes, they do.
But they call him Isa.
Yes.
The only difference is they don't believe that he is the son of God. They just believe he's a prophet, right? If you ask the
I
Muslims,
believe.
they believe that he was
I'm
just
Muslim,
a
but
prophet.
I'm a grown-up Christian. That's probably why I believe he's the son of God.
Okay, all right.
See, I got
but
both.
the Muslims,
I got both in me, like, because my mom grew me up Christian. But
all right,
I
you know what
believe
Christian
he's-
means? It means anointed.
say it again.
It means anointed one. It's Hamashiach. Alright, that's in the Hebrew is Hamashiach, which means anointed. That's why they call it. They call him Christ, because he was anointed. That's why those people. That's where you get the word Christ from, and then they give you Jesus, because that's not even his name. That's a Greek name, which just means Savior. His name is Yahweh Shai. That's the son's name. The father's name is Yahweh. You know, so that's the only two names that you can call on to be saved.
So how they say Jehovah.
All right, brother Fred.
Yeah, like.
Because you want to say Jehovah.
I read something. I told you no, listen, man. I'm a reader. It's crazy.
But see, then
My
now
brain is.
where you get the J from, right? The J is only 500 years old. So now you have to go back, and you're talking about a man that lived over 2,000 years ago, right? So now the J is null and void. Like, all right, with Islam, right? They tell you to go look up the words in Arabic, right?
Everything.
Exactly. That's
I
the
got
same
to
thing.
look up everything.
That's the same thing we tell you.
That's how I started
You
learning.
know, exactly. But that's what you're supposed to do. So if you want to know the meaning of a word, right? Because American language is a bastard language. It borrows from every other language around the whole world, right? So that's when you have to go look into the root word and go into the etymology of the word. And when you go into that, then you'll get the true meaning of the word. You know? Like you said, Jehovah, we're going to different. But this is how you get, because then you have to know that
It's
Hebrew.
good though. 'Cause I still follow the right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still doing good.
That's what you're supposed to do. and the time is coming
started
where
talking about Shaq.
that is going to be revealed. Well, it's being revealed now that this Bible is true. You know? Because you got all the race wars that's happening right now. Yeah, we read it. Matter of fact, we just did a lesson.
How you liked it?
Dog.
How did you like it though?
It's all right, the Quran. The Quran talks about the Israelites. Well, Brad, we're going to get to that. Grab this real fast so we can explain that to you.
So this is the 1611 King James Bible, right? So it says, it's Psalms 83:18. It says that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, or it says I'm sorry. It's supposed to be, that's supposed to, you're being Jehovah.
I know.
Art the Most High
That's
over
why-
all the earth. But if you look up, like, see this word, you look up words. So this word right here, see where the blue letters is H3068. That's the. So this gives you the actual. This is the Hebrew word that's under this. So it's Yah, Ha, Wah. Those characters right there. You read right to left. So yeah. So but see how.
Actually, it's not even Jehovah what they been saying.
Yeah. But see how. This
But it
character,
makes sense.
yeah, this character right here on the right is Yah, like Yah, Y-A. You see how they have E? It's no E in the Hebrew alphabet. It's no O in the Hebrew alphabet. It's no B in the Hebrew
That's
alphabet.
Americans for you. They mess it up. It's like they said Jesus was Jesus and his name like hey.
But this guy right here, that's what they you say Jesus, there's your name. Alright? Now when you read the scriptures, you get Revelation 1 to 13. And it explains that's what you look at. We just putting a visual up there, not to say that.
So, alright, what do y'all think about the Egyptians?
What you mean, what about?
It's certain things, Jesus, you know, all them come from, Grizzly black man come from Egypt. Do y'all believe that? Where y'all think do he come from? That's what I want to know. You definitely don't come from over here. You do know that, right?
Yeah. But you had us over here, but we don't come from it. We're going to do it right now.
Alright, it's Galatians chapter 4, verse 2.
That. You know how they be like Africa's the motherland and all that?
Yeah.
You know, that's where all man came from and all that.
That's what they said first, man. Even white people said
exactly, yeah. See now, alright, I'm glad you said that. That's what white people said, right?
Well, they finally said that.
Yeah,
they were saying that we wasn't came from there, but now they finally saying we got a little bit of power.
Yeah, but see, but alright, we were in Egypt, slaves in Egypt. Alright, but look, we got it.
Actually, the whole Egyptian country, we all was the same color because that's why we so hot. We look like the way. So we had slaves. We had just like King James had his slaves, his white people. Like see the King James Bible, they don't even know who King James was.
Oh, you just real good.
We who King James was.
The scripture come out.
It's Galatians 4:26. It says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all."
That's right. So Jerusalem, which is above, is free, is the mother of us all. And that's talking about us, Israelites. Right? When the Lord created when He created the heaven and earth, He made more than one thing. All right, but this book is talking about us. It's talking about the mother of us all. Us, now, what you said something about the Egyptians?
The Egyptians look like us. They're stronger. We're more. No, Muslims don't be on the Egyptians. This is something I'm doing. Some other thing.
But no, we got to give.
Listen, I told you I told you I studied. So
you want to get everything out the Bible.
Everything don't come out the Bible. Everything that I see in the Bible is another book.
So come out there, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Look, now we about to get.
How much in detail did y'all go through? See, I don't study one thing. That's what I tell you. I study many things. And talk to certain people. Or that's what y'all deal with. So that's what y'all roll with.
We study everything, man, but this is the main stuff.
It's a good thing because you're supposed to study.
You're supposed to know everything so you can go into it. So can't nobody trip you up.
You're right.
Right?
So
that's why we're going over things, but this is where it all comes.
It's Exodus 11:7. It said, "But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that he may know how that the Lord would put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel."
So it's a difference between us and the Egyptians. We might have the same complexion.
No, right? But so you're gonna follow another different complexion from us.
No,
Egyptians. We're Egyptians. This is our complexion.
Our complexion, we might look like it. We ran. Okay, so we ran. Have you ever read a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu?
She's an Israelite. Look at it. She's from there.
She's not an Israelite.
She's from there.
Well, actually, you know what? I can look at it just by looking at her.
I can look at it. She fucking around looking like
looking at her. We don't know who she is. Because we didn't test the spirit. Because this is not just an outer appearance. All right, you got to test the spirit. Because we got Israelites spread on all four corners of the earth. So you're not going to look like a traditional Israelite like how we look.
So Romans chapter 2 verse 28, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is a circumcision, which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, circumcision is that of the heart and the spirit, and not in the letter. His praise is not men, but the Messiah."
Right. So that's basically letting you know it's not about your outward appearance. It's all about your spirit, who you are inside. Alright? Because like I was saying, you got Israelites spread on all four corners of the earth. Like you would look at Bruce Lee, right? You would say he's a Chinese
man. My brother was, that's what we were saying before. We was Israelites. Trust me,
but Bruce Lee, would you look at Bruce Lee and say he's an Israelite? Who would you say
I can't
Bruce Lee
say
was?
that. I can't say what.
But you just said she was an Israelite.
Huh?
That's why I'm looking.
No,
at
I said she from Pakistan. Look
Hey,
like
but
she
you was like,
Pakistan.
she an Israelite. That's what
I know. I
you
said
just
she not Israelite. She from Pakistan.
Yeah, all right. But you don't know that. She could be.
She from Pakistan.
I know, but you got
So I can tell by her nose.
You got Israelites in Pakistan. Bruce Lee
And
was
she
an
garbed
Israelite.
up.
Bruce Lee was an Israelite.
I didn't know that.
Because
Well,
go ahead, man.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, it's according to the seed of your father. So,
Right.
like, your nationality is determined by the seed of your father. So, like, if your father is a, you know, if he comes from one of these 12 tribes, you know, yeah, bloodline. That's how you would get judged. Like in the Old Testament,
Yeah,
they would
I see what you're
go by like the house of your father. So, like, yeah, like Moses, he used to be, yeah, he was a Levite. Apostle Paul, he was a Benjaminite.
I know about all of them.
What's that?
I know about all of them in the Bible.